Education 1030 students. So hope everyone had a great Easter. I can't believe how fast the time is going by. We're almost done with the semester. So we are going to push forward and finish the semester strong. So last week we were working in Chapter 9. So that means that you should have on Thursday completed the Chapter 9 case study, the Chapter 9 quiz, and you had a chance to earn some bonus points on the library module quiz as well. So hopefully you took advantage of that. So now we're moving into Chapter 10 this week. So Chapter 10 is really going to play off of what we talked about last week. So last week we went over information literacy and what that meant. We also talked about research and how you use that in your courses, how to access the database, how to use the library as a resource. So this week we're really going to be talking about thinking in college and what that looks like. So thinking in college, you have to really think critically. So this is really going to give you a better understanding of the content. So you're going to have to start thinking at a college level, right? So college level thinking is where you're going to actually use practical strategies and thinking about things and concepts and knowing the difference between fast and slow thinking, how to be more creative, how to break down the material into parts and then use it to create something of your own. So all of these things really help play into what critical thinking is and how we want you to be critical thinkers in college. So the chapter is really going to go into more depth of the different types of thinking you have, but it's also going to give you a visual guide to Bloom's taxonomy and what Bloom's taxonomy is. So there's a PowerPoint on it, and it's also in our textbook. It talks about Bloom's taxonomy starting on page 236. So there's different types of learning levels that you are going to have as you're in college. So Bloom's taxonomy was really created for you to be able to recognize the different types of learning you are going to be required to do in college. And you move across the levels and up the levels, and there's 6 learning levels that you are going to have. So this chapter is really going to talk in depth about Bloom's taxonomy and how that applies to you in your thinking in college. So for your resources, as always, you have some videos. Okay, so I have 2 videos here for you. And I encourage you to always watch these videos because remember, these videos and the reading organizer, these are part of your actual learning, right? So they're activities to help you gain a better understanding and a deeper understanding of the content. So the first video is what is critical thinking, and the second one is really going to go along really nicely with pages 236 and 237 in your textbook, discussing Bloom's taxonomy and how we're going to actually use it to think critically. So I have those 2 videos underneath Chapter 10 in Learning Resources. You also, of course, have your PowerPoint. So your PowerPoint, as I've mentioned before, really goes along quite nicely with your Chapter 10 text. This one's pretty short. There's only 11 slides, but please do not depend only on the PowerPoint slides. I really want you to be able to read the textbook chapters to gain a better understanding of the content. So we have the reading organizer for you as always. So these reading organizers are like outlines, which we discussed a lot in Chapter 6. They really help you to put the most important, or to think about the most important information in the chapter, right? So you're outlining the main ideas or the main topics within the text and the supporting details. Okay, so if you'll see here, we go back and look at the profile and look at Donna, the student in the profile, and how that relates to the content. So that's really opening it up for us. But then you'll see that we have the formal outline here. So we're looking at the Roman numerals, which again, referring back to Chapter 6, those are your main topics or your main ideas. So we have 5 main ideas. We have college level thinking. How do you develop strong thinking skills? Well, now that you've developed them, how do you apply them? And then the last one is using Bloom's taxonomy in your first year of college, right? And then the last section that we threw in there was the tech tip. Okay, so within each main idea, there are supporting details. right? So you have your supporting details and then the subtopics that follow it. So I really want you to make sure that you're utilizing this as a study tool. So after you go through and look at the PowerPoint slides and you're reading the text and you're filling out your organizer as well as looking at the videos, you are going to complete an assignment, and you're also going to be completing your Chapter 10 quiz. Okay, so you'll see everything opened on Friday, April the 7th, and it closes and is due on April the 13th. So your quiz, you can take as many times as you want to try to get the best grade you want, but then you also have your Chapter 10 case study. So I wanted to pull up the case study so we can talk about it a little bit. So just as we did a case study on a person that's taking the college experience, their first college experience classes, as well as other general ed courses, this is another student. This case study is talking about Michael. So in this case study, I want you to really read and get an idea of Michael's situation, right? So it's really talking about the kinds of grades that Michael is getting in his first year of college, right? So he is having to write several response papers in his history class, but he's having an issue. So he's really debating on whether he should join a study group or not. He's really not understanding what the professor is asking. So what you're going to do is you're going to read all about Michael, and then you're going to answer these case study discussion questions. So remember, when you do case study questions, you have to look at the textbook, right? Because that's where you're going to find your answers. So I want you to always refer back to the Chapter 10 text when you are answering these questions. And then, of course, you will submit that to Dropbox. Okay, guys, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here in the office. We can meet via Teams or even on the phone if we need to chat. So please take advantage if you have questions to reach out. But I hope you guys have a great week, and until next time, take care.